Good evening, congregation. Yeah, wrong-uns. Lots to talk about tonight. Lots and lots and lots and lots to talk about tonight. I will take a couple of comments in a moment, but I really want to get stuck right into it. Let's see if that works. That's better. Aye. And by the way, it's bloody freezing. So I'm well wrapped up because you know what churches are like nowadays. They're just, drafty. So somebody said, who was it? I wonder when Adrian's going to be at the pulpit. Andrew James. Anyone else shriveled up like an old prune due to the cold? Yeah, both of me, Andrew. Andy Sinsky. Happy Wednesday, gang. We will need to be positive about something. I'm always positive, Andy. What do you mean? To Rich. Oh, yeah, we'll get that. Andrew James. I do hope Double A has made a big, sexy and stiff pot of tea for all. It's always stiff after my pot of tea, let me tell you, young sir. The vapist has actually made it before the start. Who was it? I've brought my... Oh, right. Rusty Mouse has said, I've brought my cushions this evening. No more hard pews for me. Rusty Mouse, it's an age thing. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Fujitsu. And WEF. Did I tell you I'm off to Davos next week? John Honeyford, I better get this mention in before you're off to watch the footy. Oh, hello, Adrian. Yeah, wrongin'. Just here for a bit, a way to watch Liverpool play with a well-diminished team. We'll catch up with your shenanigans in bed later. John, have a good one at the pulpit. Thank you very much, sir. Right, somebody said, has he got a pot? Has he got a cup? Always. And it's non-alcoholic coffee. So I'm probably going to be whizzing me bits off by the end of it because I should really, at my age, not be drinking coffee at this time of the evening. Hang on, who's that? Let me just have a quick... Mr. John Up, good evening, Adrian. Yeah, Ryan. And to all tuning in tonight's live, I wonder what's on the agenda this evening. By the way, Paula Vennells giving back her CBE cuts no ice with me. Just saying. Mr. John Up, I think we're both in the same position. Stop that. But we will get to Paula Vennells and her lies. So we're going to get to that. I just need to give this a blow. Never understood why it was called blow. Because my coffee's quite warm. So, housekeeping first. Next live, next Wednesday. Because this coming Sunday, I'm going to do a bit of detective work. I'm going in amongst. I'm going to do some CQB, close quarter combat. Not CQB. Close quarter combat. CQC. You're wrong. So I'm going in. They're not allowing any phones in there. They've been on to me today going, "Here, wrong'un, do you need to use both your tickets?" Well, one for each cheek. So I'm going to Dancing on Ice, the launch programme on Sunday. They've told me in no uncertain terms, "Yeah, wrong'un, you can keep your bloody mobile phone off, or you can hand it in." Now, I'm not handing in my iPhone to anybody. It'll end up getting nicked. Can't have that. I wouldn't be able to do my lives or anything. So no, I'm going to Dancing on Ice. Not quite sure how I'm going to. Oh, there's lots of hearts going off. Not quite sure what's going on there. But thank you very much for all the hearts. Typical the Jacobite. Yeah, just low blow. Sorry about Newcastle winning the other day, Adrian. Did you hear? Alex in Stock and Weft mug. Oh, do you know, we should make some Weft mugs. We'll have Wrong'un mugs, and we'll have Caring Understanding 90s type mugs, and we'll have Battenberg mugs, and a whole we have some very special things coming soon. But so let me just kind of get in some kind of order. Next live, next Wednesday. Sunday, not here. I might be back in time. So if you see a flicker of activity on the channel, it's only me going, whew, they said to me it was going to be cold. I still can't work that out. They've sent this email going, it looks cold on the telly, but it might not be cold. If you've got, like, is it ice? Is it actually dancing on ice? Or is it dancing on something else that looks like ice that's definitely not ice, but looks like ice on the telly and skates a bit like ice? I don't know, because they said it's not cold in there at all. So I'm like, do I wear me mankini? Do I wear flip-flops? Middle of winter? What do I do? I'm wearing a scarf and a hoodie for me live and for a telly programme that's supposed to be full of ice. Anyway, hotel's booked. I'm going to go down, so to speak, on Sunday. So I'll give you a full report either when I come back or the next day. And if there's any goss, I'll have it for you. Because, well, they obviously must record it as live and then broadcast it as live. So I don't know whether I'm allowed to boo or whether I'm allowed to, cheer and clap my hands one-handed because Holly's going to be there. So, oh, hello, Nigel Green. Good evening, Adrian. I hope you are well, sir. I'm fine and dandy now. I've got a big jumper on and a scarf because it's cold, very cold. And I'm a northerner in the north. I mean, look, hands up. There are people in my domain, in my manor now, that kind of look at me and go, I thought you said you were a northerner. Well, I am. Well, what happened? She ruined me. Oh, no, Napoleon Bonaparte's back in the house. Gypsy Hunter. Hey, nice to see you. Is that another profile that you're using? Gypsy Hunter. Adrian, you should be presenting songs of praise. Get a dog collar on. Hey, listen, I am the Reverend Adrian Allen. I am not joking you. I can call myself the Reverend Adrian Allen. Look, I mean, these kiddie fiddlers, they just make it up as they go along, man. Just, stick a bit of white on a black shirt. What's that? The duality of life? Oh, should we go down that route? Let's get intellectual. But I can call myself the Reverend Adrian Allen because technically I can officiate at, I don't know how many funerals, I think one wedding, because there was back in 2000, there was this Universal Ministries. Now, I don't know how dodgy they were, but if you paid like 120 quid, 130 quid, they sent you a certificate, which I've got somewhere in my archive, which says you can call yourself the Reverend Adrian Allen. So I can technically officiate in the Universal Ministries. I think Robbie Williams did the same thing. That's possibly where I got the idea from. He went in one of the tabloids and says, "Oh, I'm a minister now. Yeah, I can run my own church." And I thought, blimey, wouldn't that be a nice money-making scam? Wasn't it called a tithe? 10% of everything you earn. Oh, go on, make an offering on the plate. Not that kind of offering, monetary. You're wrong. So, Gypsy Hunter, you're an ordained reverend yourself. Well, I'm not ordained. I'm not even circumcised. I'm just a reverend. Is ordained the same thing? Comedic effect, man. Comedic effect. Rusty Mouse. Revered. Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Reverend Adrian Allen in the pulpit, so to speak. So, shall we get into some stuff here? Because I'm taking all night, man. Get a flat blimey. So, next Wednesday. Dancing on Ice on Sunday. Full report coming. I'll take a pen and paper or something because you're not allowed to record anything. No recording materials or devices. Who's I looking at? Somebody was having a real go about Fergie being a TV presenter. Well, let me tell you, ITVs this morning have been, cruel. Because they've said that, they've decided that a presenter won't do that again. They won't host again, quote. And she's not a natural. She is, I can see by her ginger hair, she's always been ginger. Fanta pubes. Oh, wrong kind of natural. So Fergie is not going to get a regular gig on This Morning because she's not a natural. And at best, she divided opinion, and at worst, an utter disaster. Fergie, man, we love you, even when you're getting your toes sucked. Hang on. Universal Church of Life, Gypsy Hunter, 25 quid. I was ripped off. Cost me over 100 quid back in 2000, I think it was. Yeah, 2000, 2001. But Fergie was, I was hearing rumours that she was offered $1.5 million to do Celebrity Big Brother. And then they were kind of upping it, and then it got to 2 million. The Jacobite. You're funny tonight. The Jacobite says, I thought when they said Fergie sucked as a TV presenter, I thought they were talking about the tour incident. Yeah, quite. So Fergie, I'd heard $1.5 million for Celeb Big Brother, which was not a bad screw. And then they'd upped it to 2 million. Now, you and I both know that if they're talking about millions, like Farage, then you've got to cough. You've got to come off with something. Cuffs match the collar. Exactly, Rich. Fergie, not me. Can you imagine, though? I mean, it must have been the colour of Fanta. So Farage got $1.5 million for, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And, well, Fergie's Duchess of Pork was going into Celeb Big Brother. But now she's not. Not now. I mean, she could have shagged Ponce Andrew. She could have shagged Ponce Andrew for 12 grand a throw. So, well, at least that was the going rate, according to Virginia Giuffre. She said, yeah, I got about 11,800 odd quid. I mean, wasn't the conversion rate very good then? She said, yeah, I got 11 grand, nearly 12. But This Morning have said, in all honesty, no. So get your money out. Scove, 2 million, Celeb Big Brother. Telling you. The Jacobite says, you got it right about Phil and Holly. Would you like to make a 2024 prediction about Andrew and Fergie? Yeah, they will. In fact, they probably already have, daily. But Fergie's not going to do Celeb Big Brother. No, it's too dangerous. I mean, I know it airs in March, but it's too dangerous now. He's not going to be, he's going to be skulking about in his gimp mask, not really doing anything. Because, well, it's all coming out now. He's on videotape, seemingly. Is it Memorex or is it live? Definitely. I mean, poor Andrew. I mean, the old fiddler's elbow. 5 to 25 and no. He's not going to be able to do anything. I mean, I think that well-hung lesbian, King Charles, he'll be... he's just getting it tight, his old fat fingers. He's not... I genuinely feel sorry for him, because on his watch, can you imagine Elizabeth going, oh, Philip, I may have to leave this for Charles to deal with. And Philip would be like, oh, yeah, just bury me in a Land Rover, I'll be fine. But the Queen must have gone and said, Charles, you'll have to deal with this. And anyway, Andrew's not Phillips, he's Portuguese. Oh, did I say that out loud? Do you know the story? Well, you can't libel a dead person, can you? Even if they're a monarch. But seemingly the story that I heard, and it's from a very good source, that kind of Philip was doing the dancing around the world and knocking out kids left, right and centre, according to Kitty Kelly's The Royals book. And the Queen was like, hang on a second, oi, mate, I'm the Queen. Now, the Queen had been friends with Porchy for a long time. And, along comes Andrew. He's not Phillips. I mean, you can tell by the looks. Oh, that was another thing I was going to tell you the other day. Look at the way King Charles has had his hair cut. Because normally he'd be like a wingnut. But because the hair here, it's been cut in a particular way so that it kind of hides his lugs. So, because you can't, they are like that. Genuinely, King Charles's lugs are like that. And you can't have them pinned, because then everybody would go, "Here, what you had done to your lugs, man?" So what they do is they make the hair thicker here, so it doesn't look as if the No, have a look next time you see him. Have a look in photographs. Have a look in, I don't know, when he's on the telly in a. His ears are out here, man. And what they do is they just kind of stick a bit of, like, let his hair grow. Because I was like looking at him thinking, "Oh, yeah, man, you're the king. You're the king. Have anything you want, within reason, because everything's yours, including the swans. So why don't you get a bloody decent haircut?" And then I thought, no, he's camouflage, man. He's camouflaging his ears. Have a look. I promise you, he's camouflaging his ears so they don't stick out. Anyway, I call them chimpanzee ears. So, get your money on Scove. 2 million. What was I was going to tell you something. Yeah, Porchy. Andrews, not Phillips. So get your money on Scove. 2 million for Celeb Big Brother. You reckon? Now, somebody I've just seen in the Porchy, Rusty Mouse, you're wrong. Gypsy Hunter, could you imagine Belfield on Epstein Island? I don't particularly want that image burnt onto my retina, but he wouldn't find any friends on there anyway. Rich to Gypsy Hunter. At least the girls would have been safe with him. Ouch, bitch. Lauren Taylor, good God, man. Why haven't you got your heating on? Lauren, I'm a tight northerner. The heating doesn't go on till, well, at least February. And then it's turned off in February. I mean, it's just an extra jumper and a scarf. I'm fine now. I'm getting myself worked up a bit here, so the heat's fine. The heat's fine. But it's bloody freezing, Lauren. I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, I went outside just to I didn't have a top on and it was cold, and I went to chuck some stuff in the bins. I keyed my car with my nipples. The Vapist, if you want Andrew to do celebrity, all they have to do is tell him it's an island. He'll be there in a flash. And yeah, you've got to paint it. Can't even speak tonight. You've got to paint it light blue and white. Tower Block Tracy, Black Swans. Don't be colorist. I've never seen a black swan. Bovril, I've lost one of my pendulums. Don't know where I've put it in this cold. Even brass monkeys have got welding gear. Rusty Mouse, Vickers don't have heating. Exactly. Vickers don't have heating. Heating's just north of Newcastle. And that Paula Vennells, we need to get to her soon, because oi, 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 oi. She's like, well, I don't know. Do you kind of be like a chief exec, like a boss, a gaffer, and then go, "Oh no, I found God. He was round the back of the shed having a fag. So now that he's my friend, I can be godlike. I can wear one of those collars. I can be a vicar." She was going to be the Bishop of London. Now, I'm not one to bash the bishop, so I'm not going to go that far. But can you imagine? That's like third or fourth in line for like Henry VIII's godlike bloke. God's right-hand man. Why is he... How do we know whether God's right or left-handed? So, let me tell you some background on Celeb Big Brother. BT have sponsored it to 15 million quid. 15! What are they going to get for that? Do you want me to tell you? Scove. For 2. Now, Fergie, I mean, that would it have been... Would it have been... I mean, can you imagine? I don't want to go into... I mean, I know stuff, and I don't want to go too far into that. Because although you love it, yeah, wrong'un, it might get me into trouble. But all I'll say is, Roy Gordon, good evening, you wrong'uns. Nice aside, Roy. Good to have you in the body of the Kirk this evening, as is everyone. We're just kind of getting our feet under the table, Roy, and just mentioning Celeb Big Brother. Because I had said that Fergie was negotiating her fee for Celeb Big Brother, and even though BT are sponsoring it for 15 million quid, oi, 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 nice work. Nicky Watson, I'm late, sorry. Nicky, how dare you? Go and stand at the back of the church. You can take arms, and that's with an L, not with an R, you're wrongin'. But good to have you in the body of the church, Nicky. To L, evening, Adrian and all. Oh, the coffee's lovely. Lead says, evening all, and Adrian. I don't want to see Schofield. Let me tell you again, it's bad enough watching people like Lineker. Yeah, have you noticed how Lineker's like really quiet? Because there's, I don't know whether you're following. Right, I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to give you what X, social media, is about. Because if you can court controversy, then you'll make a few bob. So the deal with Joey Barton is he's a former Newcastle player, which, somebody said, I'm sorry about Sunderland. Let me tell you it's bad enough being beaten 3-0. Bad enough. I mean, to be fair, it was Premiership versus Championship. It was men versus boys. We didn't play very well and we deserved the defeat, but not with an own goal in the penalty. But you know what added insult to injury? So after the match, all the Sunderland fans are like, making their way home going, oh, they kept the Newcastle fans in the stadium. And because they didn't want to rush on the bar, they pulled the pints before the end of the game. And then they get there and the Newcastle fans, cashless. Hang on, my card's not working. Their payment system didn't work. So not only did they beat Sunderland 3-0, they got free beer after the game. I mean, can you believe it? The Newcastle fans, honestly, they will be talking about this for generations and generations and generations. FTM. Mad Matt UK. Good evening, Adrian. I'm late into the church. You look very wrapped up. Best wishes to Mrs. Allen. She's not in. Obviously, she'll miss that because you won't be listening to this. Adrian, Andy Turner. Adrian, take your coat off. You'll not feel the benefit later. Oh, all those expressions that your mother always told you. Put that down, you'll have somebody's eye out. Yeah, take your coat off. You'll not feel the benefit later. Me age. Leave me alone. You're wrong. Don't mock the afflicted. So what was I saying? Barton, former Newcastle player. Barton. So he's got the game. He's got the game. And nobody has worked it out. So you know how, on the one hand, you get all these namby-pamby pinko liberals trying to cancel people. You know that. Well, on the other hand, you've got Joey Barton, who he's kind of saying, oh, don't care. I've made me money. You can't cancel me. I've sued other people, so up yours. But he's been very clever. So on X, all you need, and by the way, it's at Adrian Allen. That's my real name. It's at Adrian Allen if you want to follow me, because I tend to post more on there than I do on YouTube. And he's got 2.8 million followers. So if you've got that many followers, the way it works out is you say something on X, and it's all about the comments. So if you can say something contentious like, I don't know, Ponce Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, I am being cautious. You just put anything on there and people go, oh, you can't say that. You can't say women are shite commentators. Oh, I think you can. Oh, no, you can't say that. And then having a go at other celebrities and stuff. So every day he's got people going, oi, oi, oi. And he's making money from it. He's making money because the more you comment, the more ads you get in the comments, the more Joey Barton makes. So the way to deal with this is if you don't like what he's saying, move on. Just move on. Don't react to it. It's like me having a go at something. I can say something very contentious, but I haven't got 500 followers. He's got 2.8 million. And he's got people going, oh, good on you, Joey. Yeah, right on, brother. And you've got other people going, oh, I say, one can't say that. Well, I think you can, and I think he's making money. As Leeds says, Barton beat a young Manchester City player to a pulp. He's a vulgar individual, and so are his brothers. I can't stand the man, but I agree with some of what he says. Leeds, I'm with you. Virtually every syllable of that. Didn't he's... I can't remember what he said of his brother. He said something like his brother was a bit of an argument or something. The guy kicked 7 bells out of somebody. The Jacobite, Ricky Gervais said it best. Twitter, just the world's biggest toilet wall. And, you know, not to get distracted from what I want to say, because some of it's very important tonight. It's always X, formerly known as Twitter. I mean, it was just easier leaving it as Twitter, because then you wouldn't have a longer sentence, if you know what I mean. But that's the game. That's the game now on social media. You cause a stir, people are up in arms, that moral indignation, and you get paid for it. Who did? Sorry, Leeds. Who killed Anthony Walker? Leeds, making your own brew tonight then, Adrian. Sadly. So, let's get into some of the important stuff. Carol Vorderman. She's an odd creature. No, I'm not going to go down the Belfield route, but she's an odd creature. She's getting younger as she gets older. She's got 5 on the side. Never mind side hustles, 5 on the side. Where'd she get the energy from? Wow, Leeds, really? Well, that's his game. Moral indignation. He's making money from it. And also he's promoting a podcast. Because the way that the Apple algorithm works is if you don't get traction at the beginning of your podcast, then it just falls away and they don't promote it unless you're getting promotion somewhere else. And the way that social media is now, of course I'm looking at it because of this and Twitter and TikTok. TikTok's the behemoth at the moment. I know that YouTube's massive and it's kind of been around for quite a while. But it's very interesting that all you need to do is just get people to kick off. An agent provocateur, if you wish. And I did that on the radio back in the day. So I'm just finding my feet. It's taken me a year or so, but I'm just finding my feet on here. So I want to talk about Carol Vorderman. Because you know these commentators who they use social media to commentate on what is going on. So Carol Vorderman, she's listing all the Tory, because Toby Jones? Yeah, Toby Jones, the star of Mr. Bates, Master Bates, and versus the Post Office. She's saying, I'll list all the Tory scandals for Toby Jones to star in. She forgets that this is about a Labour government now. I know she might be good with numbers, but fan my brow. She's not the brightest, is she? If you're going to commentate on political scandals, just know what you're talking about. 1999, Horizon had started with the Tories in 95. But it was Tony Blair, the Labour Prime Minister. Can you remember the devil? Can you remember that Tory poster with the devil eyes? She's just not getting a grip. Now, again, is she doing it for moral indignation? Is she getting it to get a reaction and just kind of, switches the phone off and walks away kind of chuckling? I don't know. But she was absolutely not correct. Like Tory sleaze. I know one word runs into another and they are quite well connected. But yeah, Tory sleaze. But let's have a look at New Labour. And let's have a look at Mandy Mandelson, who's in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. Been out shopping with Jeffrey Epstein. Why would Mandy Mandelson be on Epstein Island? Why would Mandy Mandelson, the architect of New Labour, why would he be having anything to do with a paedophile? Yeah, right, Carol. I know, darling. You keep having to go at the Tories, but you need to look at the shite in the Labour Party. Just saying, for a friend. Because they are. And I can name you a paedophile was in the Labour Party and had close connection with Tony Blair. I always keep it in my trouser pocket just in case anybody comes back and says, Adrian, you can't say that. Oh, I think you'll find I can. And again, and again, and again, because I've seen the footage at Tony Blair's constituency where this known paedophile was fraternising with Tony Blair. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the intelligence agencies would have checked this person out. And let me tell you, I helped put him away for 35 years. So I know that there have been paedophiles at the top of the food chain and nothing's been done about it. I mean, I can name you dead paedophiles. So, people in glass houses, Carol? That's all I'm saying. And that's why we've had conversations on here. We've had conversations on here where we've kind of conversed and agreed. Woo Cow, welcome to the church, Woo Cow. That's a great name. New York Jews, underground tunnels and kids, soiled mattresses. Yeah, I'm aware of it. Seen the videos. Very well aware of it. The Frummers, the Black Hats. So, you know, there are 3 levels of Judaism. There's the Frummers, not the Orthodox, there's the Frummers. And then under that, there is Orthodoxy, and then under that, there's Reform. There's some fabulous people in Judaism, in my personal experience. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. And you can't necessarily point a finger at a particular community and go, oh, well, they all must be bad. Well, oh, no. But there's something not quite right about what's been going on under Chabad in New York. Now, I know what they're saying. Yeah, the word you're looking for is weird. Thank you, Lauren. It doesn't make sense under a synagogue. And I saw the mattresses being taken out. Now, it's not for me to identify simply from looking at the footage, the reportage out of the tunnels. But I've also seen the videos of the tunnels under New York. And that is going to take a while to investigate. I don't know whether it's feces or blood on those mattresses, but it's something nefarious. So, Aidan, what on earth are you going on about? There's obviously like multiple streams of conversations going on in the comments, so I'll have a look at that. And the fact that the weapons inspector found with his wrists cut on Hampstead Heath. Suicide. I'm going to make you aware that Sweden, the commander-in-chief of the Swedish army, has come out and told the Swedes, you better prepare for war. I'm quoting. Well, paraphrasing, I think is the word. You better prepare for war in Sweden. The commander-in-chief. Now, I don't know who they're going to be fighting. Possibly Russia? That far north? Not sure. But it won't be during winter because, it's cold here. But it's been cold in Sweden during the winter. Great skiing, but flipping cold. But so why would it's randomness. Why would the commander-in-chief come out and tell the Swedes, right, lads, you better get it sorted because we're going to go and have a war? And the Swedes are turning around going, what the hell? Have you been on the cooking sherry? And he's like, no, there's going to be war. So prepare. I mean, how do you prepare for war? And I haven't got this in my notes. And tonight's obviously going to be a stream of consciousness, but knock. Who's there? My name's Vladimir. Vladimir who? Oh, man, don't you know there's a war on in Ukraine? No, because it's not in the newspapers, Mr. Zelensky. Midget Zelensky. Is his missus still in Paris buying handbags? So, are you aware that Ukraine have lost so many men in this 3-year war that now they're conscripting the women? I mean, can you imagine? It's equality. And he's quite right. 50,000 women are going to be conscripted to go to the front lines because they're running out of men. 500,000 they've lost. Now, this is not just 500,000 men lost. This is for a generation. They're not going to be having any kids. So this is Ukraine right in the doo-doo. But 50,000 women being conscripted to go to the front lines. Yes, it's equality. But can you imagine? I need you to put in a uniform on and there's a rifle. What's one of these? Well, you fire it at the enemy. What do you mean? Where? How? Yeah, not being sexist, but 50,000 women. And they're also saying that if you have any medical experience, whether it's nursing or doctoring or consulting or anything, if you have any medical experience or background, you're going to the front lines. Because Ukraine are struggling. Not only financially, and it came out today that, was it Grant Shapps? Said, we're going to give another 2 billion to Ukraine. What? How are you going to wash that money, Grant, mate? Give them 2 billion to buy our arms and armaments. How does that work? So my taxes are going to Ukraine for Ukraine to buy arms and armaments to make the certain companies, which won't be named for the moment, shed load of money. Now, let me tell you what I told you a few months ago. I told you that Volodymyr Zelensky was going to be portrayed as a madman. He was going to be portrayed as a madman, and the indications were that he was going to be advised to broker a peace deal with Russia. I told you that months ago. And where are we? He's conscripting women to the front line. Now, the front line is a scary place. Do you think women should fight on the front line? That's what Volodymyr is doing. He's it's known as one of the most crooked, shall we say, or corrupt, if you wish, countries in Europe. How can Ukraine be in Europe when it was part of the Russian Union? That's not Europe. So Sweden, Ukraine. Sweden, it might be just because they want to join NATO and it's all going to kick off because Russia doesn't want to be part of NATO. I don't know. But Sweden's preparing for war. Ukraine's preparing 50,000 women to go to the front line. So just as an aside, and I hear that face nappies might be de rigueur again. Now, I don't know whether you've had any kind of sniffles or coughs or anything. The usual winter stuff. We don't need to wear face nappies anymore. We did that 3 years ago, and look at the panshite it got us into. And some people are saying, oh, yeah, we need to wear face nappies again. No, we don't. They didn't work in the first place. They've been proven not to work in the first place. And they've done tests and series of, looking at their effectiveness. They don't. Terry Wookford says they've been conscripting women since last September. I know it feels a bit odd. Oh, evening, Dame Anna. Welcome to the body of the church. Dame Anna, that is proper funny. Dame Anna says, worse still, Tail Block Tracy. Perimenopausal women with a rifle. I'd run a mile. So face nappies, just to give you because I do a shed load of research for the stuff that just seems to be tripping off the tongue on these lives. But, wearing face nappies, they're withdrawn from the government advice 1st of April, 2022. April Fool's Day. They withdrew as advice from the government on the government's website that people should wear face nappies. 1st of April, April Fool's Day. We didn't see that one. They're obviously laughing at us. And look, we now know that without the jibber jabber, and that was your free choice, whether you did it or you didn't, I'm not judging, but the whole thing had a 99.9% survival rate. So why would you take the jibber jabber? And now we have all these turbo cancers. Anyway, I say to you a lot of the time that when I'm saying stuff on these lives, sometimes I have to do them in code. Drayton says, evening, Drayton, you're wrong. Why do surgeons wear face nappies then? It's not to stop them from getting COVID, that's for certain. So I'm, how can I say this? So, you know, Amanda Abingdon has said she got PTSD from the bullying at Strictly by Giovanni. It's in all the newspapers this week. And then one of his past partners has come out. Debbie McGee, not out, just out. She's come out and supported him. So Debbie McGee used to be on Strictly with Giovanni. And I just would like to say there's no truth in the rumours that Paul Daniels liked watching from the sidelines whilst Debbie danced with her partners. So, let's look at the post office. I can't say any more. No, you'll get me into trouble. No, you'll get me into trouble. So, let's get to Rich Boy Sunak. So, Rich Boy is getting the taxpayer's checkbook out. And I've been watching this and just sort of taking it all in like a sponge. And so let's have a look at... So ITV do a four-parter docudrama. And the whole country's up in arms. Quite rightly. And you've got to look at the politicians and you've got to look at what they do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a three-part here. I'm going to look at Paula Vennells, and I'm going to tell you that, well, she might be lying, but no, she's not really lying. She's just playing the game. And Rich Boy Sunak, he's not lying. He's just playing the game. And the post office, well, they're just playing the game. And Fujitsu, oh, well, sorry. They're just playing the game. So that they're all dancing around each other, pardon the pun after mentioning Strictly, but they're just dancing around each other and they're trying damage limitation. But let me tell you, I can see through their BS. All of it. So I'm going to explain to you what I've seen through. So, before we deep dive, Horizon is the software system that was used and that was faulty. But nobody admitted it. So Horizon, an IT expert, as part of Fujitsu, has asked for immunity before agreeing to appear at the public inquiry. I mean, that's Matt Hancock. So why would they want immunity before they'll appear at a public inquiry? So what is happening? What brown stuff is about to hit the fan, and they know it's going to hit the fan? Well, Fujitsu is earning about 100 million a year from UK taxpayers. They've been awarded 200 public sector contracts worth £6.8 billion. And the post office is still using the Horizon system. Now, to add to that, Paula Vennells earned nearly £700,000 a year for 7 years. She was top dog from 2012 to 2019, earning nearly £700,000 per year, and has trousered, so to speak, at least 2.2 million in bonuses. So you total all that up. No wonder she could go off and be a vicar. She's probably, well, no, in the church. I was going to say she's probably got more money than them, but they're one of the biggest landowners in this sceptred isle. But she's trousered over £7 million. trousered, so she can say anything she wants. Do you know that Fujitsu are running the country's criminal record system? £48 million deal in 2022. But Fujitsu need to be held to account, not just the politicians, not just the post office, but Fujitsu, they're just sitting there not saying a word. Well, of course they won't, because they don't want to land themselves in the doo-doo. It's like in America, pleading the fifth. So, let's get to specifics. Paula Vennells says, "Oh, right, you can have me CBE. Have it, with immediate effect." No, Paula. You can't hand it back. So if you're sitting comfortably, I'm going to give you forfeiture 101. I'm going to give you what she can't do and the reasons she can't say, "Here, have it back with immediate effect." So, according to the Forfeiture Committee's website, there's an expectation that those who receive an honour are and will continue to be good citizens and role models. I think you find in this country it's good subjects, not citizens. It was the citizens of the EU. We are subjects of the Crown. And there's a reason why I say that. An honour can be withdrawn or forfeited for a variety of reasons, including criminal conviction and bringing the honours system into disrepute. Only living individuals are able to forfeit their honour. It is not possible to withdraw an honour from someone who's died. However, the Forfeiture Committee can consider specific cases where a recipient has been accused of a crime after their death, with a view to issuing a statement that confirms action would have been taken had that individual been convicted. Like Jeffrey Epstein. A decision to forfeit an honour can be based on events that predate the award. For example, she was for services to the post office in 2020. So what's gone on with the sub-postmasters predates that. So it could have been taken off her. So they can forfeit an honour because of conduct that occurs after the award is made, but predominantly before. The Forfeiture Committee considers cases put to it when the holder of an honour has brought the honour system into disrepute. It will automatically consider cases where an individual has been found guilty by the courts of a criminal offence and sentenced to a term of imprisonment of more than 3 months. Wasn't that Lester Piggott? Didn't that happen to Lester Piggott? Has been censured or struck off by the relevant regulatory authority or professional body for actions or failures to act, especially which are directly relevant to the granting of the honour. Post office, she definitely would have had it. She would have been censured. Or has been found guilty by the courts of a criminal offence covered by the Sexual Offences Act 2003, Sexual Offences Order 2008, or Sexual Offences Act 2009 in Scotland. What are they expecting them to do? Have they got a load of wrong-uns getting on us? Or has been found to have committed a sexual act which is listed in the acts above following a trial of the facts. That was Greville Janner, wasn't it? Greville Janner, Lord Janner, who I was told. And he was accused of certain things, and he said, no, we'll just trial of the facts. So the committee is not an investigatory body. It does not decide whether or not someone is guilty or innocent of a particular act. Instead, it reflects the findings of official investigations and makes a recommendation of whether or not the honours system has been brought into disrepute. Now, I ask you a straight question. If Paula Vennells had retained her CBE, do you think that she would have brought the honours system into disrepute by retaining it? So please bear in mind that personal disputes are not likely to be a reason for forfeiture of an honour. And the committee's recommendations, this is the most important bit, the committee's recommendations for forfeiture are submitted through the Prime Minister to the King. And if the king gives his approval, a notice of forfeiture is usually placed in the London Gazette. So Paula Vennells can't go, here, have it back. I'm not playing anymore. It has to go to the Prime Minister, through the Prime Minister, to the king. And the king makes the decision. It's not for Paula Vennells. It's for the king to decide. So, can honours be removed? Yes, it is possible to remove an honour on the advice of the Forfeiture Committee and with the approval of the sovereign. So this is not, she can't just go, up yours, I'm off. Have it. She can't. Forfeiture Committee have to take it off her and the king has to ratify it. So what behaviour is expected from a person who has an honour? It says on their website, both we and the wider community expect recipients of honours to be and to remain good citizens and role models. I'm going to get onto them. They're not citizens, they're subjects. What could cause an honour to be removed? Well, your honour can be withdrawn or forfeited for a variety of reasons. This might include being found guilty of a criminal offence, behaviour which results in censure by a regulatory or professional body, or any other behaviour that is deemed to bring the honours system into disrepute. Absolutely bang on with Paula Vennells. A decision to forfeit your honour can be based on events that predate the award. Yeah, we've already done that. What should I do if I believe that someone with an honour has behaved in a way that could lead to forfeiture? So basically what Paula Vennells has done, she's gone, here, have it. Up yours, take it back. She's got in there before the Prime Minister or the King has ratified and made her forfeit her honour. And you can contact the Cabinet Office, naming the individual and explaining the reasons why you believe their honour should be forfeited. But please bear in mind that personal disputes are not likely to be a reason to forfeit an honour. So what is the process of forfeiture? Recommendations to remove honours are considered by the Forfeiture Committee. Each case is considered individually. The committee's recommendations for forfeiture are submitted through the Prime Minister to His Majesty the King. If His Majesty the King gives his approval, a notice is usually placed in the London Gazette. So, Paula Vennells can't go, have it back. Up yours, I'm not playing your game anymore. I'm off. Switzerland. Because her husband's got citizenship in Switzerland. So, not only is she not a vicar anymore, I'm not quite sure whether she was told to fall on a sword or she fell on a sword of her own accord. Not quite sure about that, but she can bog off. So what's the role of the Forfeiture Committee? The Forfeiture Committee considers cases put to it when the holder of an honour may be deemed to have brought the honour system into disrepute. Examples, we've already been through those, like Lester Piggott. Lester Piggott wasn't a bad lad, quite a nice guy, but he had to forfeit his honour. The committee is not restricted to those 4 criteria that I laid out earlier, and in any case can be considered where there is evidence to suggest that the retention of an honour would bring the honours system into disrepute. The committee is not an investigatory body. It does not decide whether or not someone is guilty or innocent of a particular act. Instead, it reflects the findings of official investigations and makes a recommendation of whether or not the honours system has been brought into disrepute. Is there a right of appeal? Well, recipients may be asked to give written representations where the committee feels that the evidence is not clear-cut or where the recipient has been found to have committed a sexual act posthumously. So I think you've got a pretty good take on where Paula Vennells is at the moment. And the Forfeiture Committee are able to restore honours and civilian medals, and the Defence Council are able to restore military medals if certain criteria have been met. So don't presume that she's gone, here, have it back, mate, up yours, I'm off to Switzerland, where you don't pay tax. Because the Forfeiture Committee can reinstate it. So we can't assume or presume. So Paula Vennells has gone, have it. Cheers, Paula, go off. Can you imagine in an alternative universe there are politicians scrambling to cover up how much they've made from IT contracts with multinational computer or software companies? I mean, imagine the conversations. Who can we make the fall guy for this? That's what they're scrabbling for. So we have had successive governments cover this up, and now some bloke called Toby has let the cat out of the bag. That's the actor that played Masturbates. So I watched PMQs today. Did you see Lee Anderson? PMQs had merely regurgitated what had been on social media. So Lee Anderson's like, oh, he can clear his desk. Sir, on my head, Davey, clear his desk, clear his diary, and clear off. And everybody's like, oh, oh, like clapping seals in the zoo. They're supposed to be our greatest and good, the politicians, the MPs. So Sunak, in response, said, victims must get justice and compensation. Yeah, from who, rich boy? From who? Are you going to put your hand in your pocket personally? Or are you going to get the British taxpayers to pay it? How much is the post office going to pay? For one, and two, how much is Fujitsu going to pay? Freudian. Because taxpayers set the whole thing up. The government paid Foxtrot Oscar to set the whole system up. It was the Tories that asked them to set it up. It was Tony Blair going, it's fine, it's brilliant, yeah, it's brilliant. How much did he make? Now, let me tell you, Rich Boy Sunak stood in the Houses of Parliament today at PMQs and said, we've paid 150 million. Like, when it's you, the taxpayer, give us your money. No. HMRC, you can't earn over £1,000 selling your swag, your old clothes, on eBay or Vinted. But when it's giving away money, the taxes, as in the taxpayers' money, they go, it's we. It's like the royal we. So 150 million has been given to 2,500 victims. That works out at about 60k each. Now, is that enough? Some of these sub-postmasters have lost hundreds of thousands of pounds. They lost their homes. They lost their livelihoods. They lost the respect within the community. And sadly, 4 of them lost their lives. Now, Rich Boy at PMQs today said, there's going to be primary legislation. Those jailed quickly will be exonerated and compensated. There isn't enough money, but I want to know who's doing the compensating. Is it Fujitsu? Is it the post office? Or is it Rich Boy on behalf of me and you and our taxes? Because the government's just opening its checkbook. It wants this to go away. And what's the quickest way to get this to go away? Open your checkbook and just pay it away. So, we want the truth to come to light. Rich Boy says we will right the wrongs of the past and the victims will get the justice that they deserve. Wow. So who's in the dock then? Is it the politicians? Sir Ommied Davey? Tony the war criminal Blair? Charles Lyndon? Fujitsu? Who is going to be in the dock? None of them. They're just going to open their checkbook and they're going to make it go away. Now, Keir Starmer, he didn't bang on about it today because I think I don't know what's going on with him. Because you would have imagined that if he wanted to put the government to the sword, he would put the government to the sword over this. But he didn't. He said the government should deliver the justice that is so needed. Hang on a second, Keir, mate. Weren't you at the Department of Public Prosecutions? Weren't you the man where the book stopped? Weren't you the man that had the answers? Nigel Green said, you know we'll end up picking up the tab, Adrian, as bloody usual. Why would we be surprised? I know, but Sir Keir Starmer had about 200 of the people that were prosecuted had their files go across his desk. A bit like Sir James Savile. He didn't do anything about Jimmy either. His file went across his desk, NFA. No further action. So you've got the politicians. Now, I'll get to Sir Ed Davey in a second. Because Sir On Me Ed Davey, he refused to meet Alan Bates. But the Liberal Democrats have had to put out a statement on their website. And just 5 months after becoming a minister, Ed On Me Ed Davey did meet with Alan Bates in October 2010 to hear his concerns. 2010. Now, Sir On Me Ed Davey was Post Office Minister from 2010 to 2012, only about 18 months or so. But he said he met with Alan Bates. That's not what's been coming out. Swiggy Videos 13 said, sweep it all under the carpet. Oh, they're definitely going that way. Talblock Tracy, the NHS IT system cost 10 billion so far. 2013, and then it was canned. 10 billion. Because it's our taxes, it doesn't pay them to pay that money. And obviously there's kickbacks. There's brown envelopes with money in. As we know very well from the past. So and these are all, this is all facts from the Liberal Democrats. They're saying it's facts. But Sir On Me Ed Davey is the first minister on record as meeting with Alan Bates, Master Bates. And the 4 Conservative Postal Affairs ministers from 2015 to 2019 recorded no meetings with Mr Bates or the Justice for Sub-Postmasters Alliance on their official disclosures. We're not interested from 2015 to 2019. We know that the Labour government under Tony Charles Linton Blair, multi-millionaire Tony Blair, who also takes money from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Go on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation website. They happily posted there that Tony Blair has been paid from their coffers. So, we want to know what Sir On Me Ed Davey actually was going to do about it. Now, you can say that, well, all right, he didn't meet with him, and he did meet with him, and it's a matter of conjecture. But the thing that sticks in my gullet is this. Sir On Me Ed Davey was the Post Office Minister who initially found out about the sub-postmasters and didn't do anything about it. What he did do about it was he took £883 per hour, over £220,000, advising the lawyers that were fighting the sub-postmasters. That's corrupt. In any other lifetime, that's corruption. So you're the minister who's aware of what's going on, and then when you're not the minister, you're taking money from the lawyers as an advisor, 220 grand's worth, for the lawyers, from the lawyers that's fighting the sub-postmasters. No. Kevin Rowlands, good to have you in the body of the church. Kevin, if you counted from 1 to 1 billion today, it would take you 33 years. Billion is a million. And Sir On Me Ed Davey, 220 grand from the lawyers that were fighting the sub-postmasters. That wasn't in the docudrama. I mean, obviously they had to be very careful. But this is... So you've got the politicians of all parties absolutely scared witless that they don't want to be tarred with this brush because the whole of the country is up in arms about this. The whole of the country. There isn't one person that I've met or talked to or seen that has watched the four-parter on ITV that's actually come out and said anything other than, that's corrupt. This needs to be sorted. And the Tories, and I'm not necessarily a big fan, because stop the boats. No, you won't. The Tories are, and especially Sunak, are clear of this, that nothing can be put to him. But I look at the Tories when they were in the coalition government, and that's when Sir On Me Head Davey was the post office minister. Can you imagine the Tories have gone, oh, no, I don't want that. Don't give me that. No, don't give me that. It'll ruin me politically. So they've given it to the Lib Dems. They've given all the brown stuff to the Lib Dems to deal with. So technically the Tories are not in this. It's the Labour Party that initially did it. It was their system that they brought into, that Tony Blair stood up in the Houses of Parliament, and I've seen his speech telling and reassuring the Houses of Parliament that it was sound. From 1999, that's when the faults, that's when the problems, that's when the sub-postmasters, including Alan Bates, were saying, hang on, there's something going on here, something not right. And we've got the Horizon IT expert asking for immunity before agreeing to appear at the public inquiry. Stinks. And I think that's why the country's up in arms. It stinks. And that's why everybody's talking about it, because everybody can have an opinion without it being nasty or malicious or egregious. Everybody can talk about this because, one, they know that suddenly being told, you're 36 grand down, cough, give us it. If somebody knocked on your door now saying, your financial balance for the post office is not right, you're 100 grand down, I mean, what would you do? And these politicians are sitting there playing with people's lives. They don't care. So Ed Davey, do the right thing and foxtrot Oscar. You're done, mate. You're toast. You're finished. You haven't got a political career after this. And if you stay any longer, neither have the Lib Dems. So the Tory party's finished. Nobody wants to vote for Labour. And the Lib Dems are done because of this. Now, you could look at it and say, well, actually, Adrian, this would be the perfect storm to get rid of a political party, namely the Lib Dems. They haven't got anybody that will stand up, that's got any gravitas, that the public will warm to. They haven't got anybody. So Ed Davey. And Vince Cable tried to defend him on the telly and couldn't do it. So we have the Tories who... Ooh, Tower Block Tracy, very, very good point. Conviction to be overturned by the end of 2024 and no combo until then. 2024 election, anyone? Honestly, you can't trust these snake oil sellers. We'll stop the boats. We'll stop the boats. Well, you haven't. Yeah, but we're going to. When? 2035. They're not going to stop the boats. They're just liars. They're barefaced liars. The lot of them. Snake oil sellers. Ed Davey, mate, leave. I mean, you've even got a member of Parliament standing there saying, clear your desk. Off you go. Because once a politician's been nailed, so to speak, then the rest of them can breathe a sigh of relief because they know it's not going to be them. There's got to be the sacrificial lamb. Who is going to be the sacrificial lamb? Is it going to be the Labour Party, Tony Blair? He's not coming back. Well, he might do if Keir Starmer gets into power, but I'm telling you, look, I'm not psychic. If I was, I'd be the wealthiest man in this country because I'd be winning the lottery every weekend. But I'm telling you, Keir Starmer, if he gets into power, Tony Blair comes back. Gordon Brown comes back. Mandy Mandelson, friend of the paedophile, comes back. Do we want them? Tower Block Tracy says, Sunak has hinted at a December election? Who in their right mind is going to vote with Christmas 2024 days away? Ooh. GB Patriot, I had heard that, but I couldn't present any evidence because I couldn't find any of my research before the live tonight. But Adrian, do you know Infosys, Rishi's missus company? Well, it's her dad's. Is a major shareholder in Fujitsu? Yes, I do. And do you also know, I saw this earlier today, you know the Rwanda thing? Because it's not very clear. Oh, yeah, we're just going to ship them off. We've given billions to Rwanda. Billions. What, to the Rwandan government? Oh, yeah, billions. Our money? No, taxpayers' money, rich boy. But do you know that Infosys have an office in Rwanda? They have Infosys Service Limited, an incorporation date of the 30th of April 2014. So let's have an educated guess as to who's going to be making the money in Rwanda. Correct. Rich boy Sunk via his wife, via her dad. Ooh, grubby, 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 grubby. Do you not get it now? So the game for the politicians is just make as much money as you can without being found out. And he's saying, it's not my money, it's not mine. If it goes to Infosys or, G4S or whomever, I'm just arbitrarily pulling those names out of the air. But why would you send them to Rwanda? I mean, I thought it was random at the best of times. But stop the boats are arguing over and out. We know that they're never going to stop the boats. They have no intention of doing that. They would rather send them to Rwanda and up the billions that they're spending into Rwanda, because Infosys has company and office incorporated in 2014 operating in Rwanda. And whose daddy owns Infosys? Rich boy's wife. Did you not think, hang on, there's got to be a rat away here. Of course. Yeah, wiki videos, very funny. They'll build a bridge and say, oh, this will stop the boats. Tory logic. Tower Block Tracy. My working assumption is we'll have a general election in the second half of this year, he said on a visit to Mansfield, Central England. Mansfield, it's in Nottinghamshire. So, I'll finish off with kind of Randy Andy, because honestly, I could go on all night about the post office. Just keep your eye on how things develop over the next few days. If I can create a live, I will do over the weekend or next week, but at the latest there'll be another one next Wednesday. I do hope that Sir On Me Ed Davey does exactly the right thing, which is Foxtrot Oscar, resign, leave politics. Because you were sitting there, you knew what was going on with the sub-postmasters. And for 20 years, the sub-postmasters have been fighting this. 20 years, that's a generation. They've been fighting this. And it's only via the tenacity of Alan Bates and some of the others. I mean, 18 of the original 555 in the Alliance have died without ever seeking any compensation or recompense or being exonerated, because they were all innocent. It was an IT software that started pointing the fingers. And I've said to you, we need to have root and branch. Everybody in the post office that had any responsibility for this, whether it was the people turning up at the doors, knocking on the doors, going, right, you'll come with us, you're wrong 'un. You're 36 grand in the chalky. They need to be put in prison. No, I'm not just following orders, mate. That's what the Nazis said in Germany. This is 20 years of fight, 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 and they barely got it over the line. And it's only when ITV have made this 4-part docudrama that people have gone, whoa, hang on a second. This is real? This happened? Politics could be finished in this country if they don't get this right. I mean, I don't see it getting much past the next general election. Fujitsu, we need to get them gone. Because if Rich Boy Sunk's wife and her father's company, Infosys, are a major shareholder in Fujitsu, you can't have that kind of association with the Prime Minister of this country. No, because it just looks crooked, let alone be crooked. You can't. So, Rich Boy, you can foxtrot Oscar back to America. We know what's going to happen. He might stay to get into the House of Lords. But the way this is working at the moment, you've got Knight of the Garter, Honi soit qui mal y pense. You've got a Knight of the Garter in Blair. Now, Brown's next is a pecking order. So they got Blair in after Major. He's also Knight of the Garter. Who's coming next? Gordon Brown, Theresa May. David Cameron's already a Lord. He's a Baron in the House of Lords. Life peerage. We'll get to Boris Johnson at one point. But can you imagine? Rich Boy, does he have to wait 20 years? But he'll go into the House of Lords. He could end up being a Knight of the Garter. He could go all the way up to the food chain. And I'm sure it's the Knight of the Garter that there's only 25. And it's dead men's shoes. So Blair's in there. Major's in there. It's only when possibly they fall off their perch will Rich Boy get in there. And he's young enough. He's young enough to wait. All the way up the food chain, that boy. Now, GB Patriot, Adrian, did you notice that Sir On Me Ed Davey wasn't there for PMQs? Yeah, absolutely. I think it was Lee Anderson said, oh, hang on a second, where's Ed Davey? Or where's the leader of some he indicated that he wasn't in the chamber. And all the rest of the MPs were like, ooh. Rocky Akhenaten. Why isn't the government outsourcing to British companies, creating jobs Britain for British taxpayers? I agree completely. Because it's all corrupt, the whole system. If you're married to a woman and her dad has a massive big multi-billion company and they are tied with Fujitsu, who's had £6.8 billion of taxpayers' money given to them for 200 contracts. I mean, we have to clean all this up. They've all got that in the trough, in the money that's in Westminster. And you know, in 2008, when we were, oh no, there's no money, we haven't got any. Austerity, no. And they give it to us tight. And now they up the prices of everything going, oh no, well, you know, all the oil tankers in the Red Sea, there's the Houthi, they're stopping the oil tankers. And you think, hang on a second, it went up to £2. I keep telling you, from 89p during lockdown, all the way up to £2. It doubled in price, fuel. And then they brought it down to 136, roughly, currently. So that eases it. But it's not going back down anywhere near where it was before the sky rocketing prices. No, that's not the game. Make it painful, bring it back down until it's not painful, and then leave it there because it's massive profits. We're just cash cows. They don't care about us. They just care about the missus and her dad, the father-in-law. How many billions do you want to make by selling licenses for oil exploration in the North Sea? Told you before and I'll tell you again. I want to know how much he went into Parliament with, and I want to know how much he's coming out of Parliament with. Stephen Hall, so much truth from Adrian. Thank you, Stephen. Donald Maxwell, have you watched Behaviour Panel on YouTube? Oh, no. I'll give that a go. I'm always up for learning, always up for knowing new stuff. And Bovril, look at Sunak's involvement with Moderna. His investment company has a large stock holding in them, and now Moderna has been given a 100 billion government research contract. And what's David Cameron up to? Trotter Cameron. I think we'll leave it there. I mean, it might sound like it's been a rant tonight. It hasn't at all. I've tried to give you facts, square and fair facts. But it's I think the problem that the politicians have is they were always able to pull the wool over our eyes. But we're seeing through it now. We're seeing through their BS. And I don't know if you know, Bob Smith said, yeah, it's piss boiling. That's what it is. I agree with you, Bob. Good to have you. Don't know whether you're a first timer, but good to have you in the church tonight. And Stuart, it's been an education, Adrian, not a rant. You're very kind, Stuart. What can I predict? Ed Davey's not going to last a month, because this is just going to get bigger. And it's going to get more breathtaking. And as much as they will try and exonerate everyone that was tarred with the same brush, all the sub-postmasters, there were 3,500 of them. Up to 7,000 involved. And they're just going to go, nothing to see here, under the carpet. No. Because I think we're too well informed now. This thing, the Groove Tube and social media and having phones that connect, it's grubby. That's what it is. And I told you, politicians don't get into politics because they want to benefit their community. No, they're kind of parachuted into places because it's either easy or not. So Rich Boy got Richmond because that's the easiest Tory seat in the country. So it's had 2 former Prime Ministers as its standing Conservative MP there. Nigel Green, you're a gent, sir. Brilliant one once again, Adrian. Enjoy your weekend at ITV and have a safe journey. I'm off for a cup of tea and a slice of Battenberg. Nighty night. Yeah, wrong. Yeah, if you could, if you've enjoyed anything that we've done tonight on the live, then smash the likes, please. It does help. I'm going to tease you by saying, yeah, Billy Hague was Richmond. I'm going to say to you that we are the little team that kind of do our bits and pieces for this. I've been granted an interview with someone that I think will make for an amazing and interesting interview. So we're still going to do the lives. We're going to do the phone in. We're going to do other things. We're going to do interviews because 40 years in the media, TV, radio, newspapers, have my own newspaper columns. So I just want to bring that skill set and enjoy telling stories. What I want to do with the channel is I just want to tell stories. We get away with the live stuff because it's not monetized, and I can speak truth to you and converse with you, but it's the interviews that I want to go, and someone has agreed for me to interview them today, and I think it's just going to be amazing. And that's where we're going to go. I'm asking around, see what's what. And it's been an honour and a privilege tonight. I think a lot of people are waking up, if they've not already been awakened by this utter shit show in Westminster. They're not getting away with it. They're not getting off with it. And please just be aware, when they start saying we're going to compensate them with hundreds of millions of pounds, it's the money they've taken from you after you've grafted your nuts at work. Even pensions, taxing pensions now, any which way. They'll take your money and they'll go, oh yeah, we've compensated them. It's not about the money. They may think it's about the money because that's what they think about. This is about integrity and honesty and being a community. And as the merchant seaman would say, pull together. It's the only way we can out them. Oh, yeah, Andrew James, yes. And I'm not going to forget the odd Belfield video. You're going to have to stay subscribed to the channel because there is stuff coming. I'm not going to say, right, this and this and this and this. I've made that mistake in the past. But we are working on stuff. We're going to have, if it works, then we're going to have a particular premiere time for premiere videos. So, yeah, there are loose plans ahead. And I work with some wonderful people who beaver away and do some amazing work. And I just want to say thank you to them. They know who they are. They don't need mentioning. So thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence and your Battenberg. My name's the Reverend Adrian Allen. I jest. It's normally Adrian Allen until I'm in the doo-doo, and then I go, oi, don't you know? I speak with God, me. And do you know that speaking with God is praying? God speaking to you is paranoid schizophrenia. I'll see you next Wednesday for the next live, and I'll see what bits of exclusives I can bring back with me from Sunday.